Hey guys, and welcome back to Music Talk. I'm John. Today I'll be further discussing some albums that I received in a box from my brother-in-law. The last one was interesting. It's kind of cool. I'm taking my time. I'll look at some of these albums and go, I'll pass on it. But I took my time to actually listen to these guys, and I was kind of surprised in some of the things. I found familiar songs, ones that I don't really care for, but I'm like, oh, that's the group that did that song. So I encourage you, anytime you receive any records from people, and take them, listen to them, because you just don't know what's going to happen. So it's kind of cool. One thing I'd like to do is I was going to recommend kind of feature an album of the week. This is Art Blakey and Jazz Messengers. This is The First Flight to Tokyo, the Lost 1961 recordings. My first experience with him. I'm just learning jazz, trying to understand what jazz is, and this is a very easy album to get into for me. A lot of people start with Kinda Blue by Miles Davis. But I just love this. This thing started off with a drum solo. It was a cool drum solo. It wasn't just everywhere. It was like, it had this feel, So there's a couple parts where he goes, because Art Blakey is a drummer. But I loved everything about this. I'm still getting familiar with the band members. But I would definitely do it, and it's on Blue Note. Anytime you see Blue Note, those are the guys who were jazz. They signed on a lot of people, and their big thing was just jazz music, and so they have a lot of great music. So I would definitely check out Art Blakey. So getting into continuing into the collection here from the albums. This was called A Taste of Honey. Never heard of these guys before, but I definitely knew their hit song. It was Boogie Oogie Oogie. It's disco. So right there, I gave it a shot. I listened to everything. These ladies, I mean, I'm assuming they're playing the instruments, and the bass lines were awesome. Guitar work sounded good. Voices, I really liked their voices. Just couldn't get into it, primarily because it was disco. This was late in that disco era. I believe this was 1978. So Boogie Oogie, this will be one that, like I've explained before, see if the record store wants it. You never know who might be interested in it, and I'll get a credit and get something that I do like. Next one is a group I've definitely heard of. Solid as a Rock, I believe, is their big hit in the 80s. Big guilty pleasure for me, because they just played it so much, and actually was so catchy. I liked that song. I would root for these guys. Great voices, great harmonies. They sound good together. They're kind of a funk soul, but this has some disco in it. I looked it up, didn't see anything on this that was like a hit single for them, but but I gave it a shot. But probably one I won't be keeping. It's Ashford and Simpson, Send It. I believe these guys were married at one point, divorced, but still kept working, and wrote a lot of hit songs for other people and produced other people. So they were definitely successful. Next one. Now, I thought this guy was jazz, and I think they actually labeled him was like pop, and now I understand why. It's Herb Alpert. You would think jazz because he's an instrumentalist. He's a trumpet player. What I noticed about him was the songs are straightforward. They're definitely catchy. They kind of sound like show tunes to me. But there's a lot of trumpet. The trumpet is the vocalist to me. And that's one thing that kind of I'm not into. Because with jazz, what I love about it is that trade. The trumpet player plays something, and then signal over, okay, now the saxophone player is going to, oh, here comes the bass. That's the beauty of jazz, that spontaneity. This seems just very, okay, well written, whatever. I could see why people were into this. But yeah, I'm just not into the Herb Alpert stuff. Obviously plays trumpet well, who's a good trumpet player. So I'll probably pass on this one, but I enjoyed listening to it and said, okay, one time's good, and move along. The next one, now this guy I heard about too growing up. This came out in 1976. This is Peter Allen, Taught by Experts. This is considered funk, disco, pop. he's kind of like Barry Manilow to me. You could see he had like potential to almost be a good soulful guy, but he just got a little goofy. I don't know if you can tell by his album cover. It's very, he's being a real big goofball. Now, the interesting thing that I found about this is the song Taught by Experts. It's not a very happy song, and you would think, you know, looking at this, it's not, but it's one of the lines, let me see right here. I've been taught by experts in the art of cruelty. And the other line was, my body is a battlefield, I've got the scars to show. So I was listening to the lyrics and like, okay, I thought this would be like a really just upbeat song, and you know, I've been taught by experts and kind of sarcastic, but it seemed a little dark. So Peter Allen gave it a shot. Probably won't be going into the collection, but took my time, checked it out. Next one is George Benson. He's a jazz and R&B. He's a guy, I like his guitar work, great voice. I mean, it's, yeah. But I just can't get into him. I don't know why. I believe, let's see, Hold On I'm Coming and Summertime. Hold On I'm Coming is there's only 1, 2, 3, there's 5 songs on this album. And they're pretty long, but Hold On I'm Coming is the Sam and Dave song. And then Summertime, I believe, was Louis Armstrong. So, you know, it's a guy I wanted to like, but it just, the music doesn't do it for me. The type of jazz that he does, it's just not my style. But I know he was very popular. I would recommend this album. It's a good album if you're into George Benson. Yeah, you might as well get it because it's solid. So there he is. It's a gatefold, and looks like original sleeve. Album's in decent shape, so somebody will enjoy it. Another George Benson. Now this was Weekend in LA, 1978. It's a jazz and R&B album. Has his hit song that probably everybody knows, Broadway, on Broadway. And I don't know if I recognized anything else on this. But same thing, you know, I wanted to root for him. His voice, I mean, live his voice sounds amazing. I can't get into him, I don't know why. And so it's kind of coming apart a little bit too. What happens with these old albums if they're not kept in a nice cool dry place, that spine will start coming off on the bottom. You can probably glue it and put it back together. This is a double album, and it's in good shape, so somebody's gonna probably enjoy this. I don't know how in demand it is or popular, but somebody might enjoy it, I'm sure. So, you know, amazing musician. So sometimes I wish I could get into these guys, but I don't know how you are with it, but it's just like sometimes I can't get into them. I just can't give them a shot. This one was interesting. This is another disco, funk soul disco. Came out in 1977. Patty Brooks, Love Shook. You know, she's kind of way out there. I mean, disco, I started with all these disco albums I've been listening to. I realized how much orchestration there is in there. And then you have these similar bass lines to kind of boom, 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 drive it along. This had a lot of music, and in her voice was really high. I don't want to say operatic, but I couldn't even get into her voice. Great, I mean, she has great range, but just not my style. So this collection, I said, it goes from jazz to you know, disco to good rock. So just one I wouldn't be that interested in. This next guy, you know, I love one song by him. It's a song everybody likes. This album came out in 1976. He's considered pop rock. To me, he sounds folk. He sounds like a Renaissance guy. I know people who love him. It's Harry Chapin. This is On the Road to Kingdom Come. And it looks like Jerry was the owner. I found Jerry's name on another album. It's in decent shape. The album looks like it's been exposed to some kind of weathering. Just can't get into him. His voice, I want to say he probably has good lyrics, but I can't spend enough time with him to really get into them and wanted to see if they are. It sounds like, you know, because Cats in the Cradle was just great. I mean, the lyrics, everything he expressed in there was great. So, so Harry Chapin, or Chapin, I don't know. And I don't remember any hits. I think I looked it up and didn't see anything off this, but yeah, I think he had a short life too. I haven't done too much research on him, but I know he died pretty early on. This is one. This came out in 1969. It's jazz, I guess, jazz rock, progressive rock. This is Chicago Transit Authority. I know a lot of people love this album, and if you love this album, you're not going to get me, but I liked, you know, you're going to shoot me. Chicago 17. I just did. It had, I'm big into pop, hooky songs with, you know, catchy melodies and mushy ballads, and that's what Chicago, I think it was, yeah, Chicago 17 did. This is, you can't deny the greatness of the horns and the vocals and some of the harmonies. Just overall, just it's not for me. I don't get into a lot of progressive rock. I like my songs a little more straightforward. I guess the weirdest I'll get or out there is sort of Pink Floyd, some Frank Zappa. Just really depends. But it's just one of those albums. Now the songs off of this that did get some radio play were Question 67 and 68. If you play it, you'll probably hear it, know it. Beginnings, it's another one that you probably don't know the title, but you heard it on the radio. And does anybody really know what time it is? So that was that one. Again, it seems to be in decent shape. It has a little bit of wear, but as long as the album's in good shape, the spine has a little wear, but somebody might be interested in this one. So my last one is somebody I'd never heard of before. It was Mark Almond. Yeah, it was Mark Almond was the title, so self-titled. And it looks like the musicians were John Mark and Johnny Almond. And this was another one. This came out in 1971. It's considered jazz, rock, fusion, acoustic. To me, again, sounds like Renaissance music. Very out there. It kind of rocks out in some places and then gets very whimsical in other places. So it wasn't enough to keep me interested in it. But yeah, somebody might be looking for this. I looked it up. It is on Discogs. Somebody liked it enough to put their name on it, like before. The album has no sleeve at all, and it appears to be in decent shape. Well, there's a scratch there, so I don't know how well that one's going to do. But another interesting one. That's what I do like about the box. If you're into music, you kind of dig the fact that you're checking out bands you never heard of before. So anyway, so that's kind of like take two on the box that I received. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, please hit the subscribe button at the bottom, and any comments you have, if you'd like to elaborate or correct me on anything that I've gone through, just remember, this is just my opinion, and that's what this show's kind of about. But I definitely want to hear from you, because I like to hear other people's take on music. Definitely. So please comment at the bottom, and I'll do my best to respond to you. So anyway, you guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.